Hilarious. Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae R. Roddy coming on today to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program, providing you with a step-by-step instructions on how to fill out the application form for first-time applicants. So again, this video is for those of you entrepreneurs, small business owners who would like to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program on your first try, right? This is your first time applying. We'll be walking through that application process. Now, yesterday, I did a complete walkthrough of the application for the second draw application, right? So that was the second draw. That means all of those that receive PPP funds and they're wanting more money and draw for a second time. That application I did yesterday. You can find that on our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook page. Today, because we had so many people asking about what if this is my first time applying, what do I do? How do I apply? This is for all of you all. And if this is your second time, there's still information here that will be beneficial for you. There are some slight differences on the requirements and also on the application process itself. Before I get into the step-by-step overview, I'm just going to provide an overview to let you know what this program is, how to know if you qualify for this particular program. Now, this is the Paycheck Protection Program. This is a program that was started under the CARES Act way back in March of 2020. It is a program very popular, administered by the SBA. It is to help keep people employed, right? To help small businesses be able to keep their teams, keep people employed. Okay. This program is for you if you are a solopreneur, gig worker, independent contractor, small business owner, a nonprofit with 500 employees or less. This is not for publicly traded organizations or corporations. Okay. So again, whether you have 500 employees or less, no employees, you qualify. And I say that because a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners missed out on the first round monies, right? This is a multi-billion dollar program. This is $284 billion in funding that is available for you. And many missed out on it because they simply didn't think that they qualified because they didn't have employees. Okay. So you could potentially qualify for this if you meet those qualifications that I just outlined before you. Okay. You must have been in operation on or before February the 15th, 2020 of last year. Your business had to have been in operation. So the SBA began rolling out this program yesterday, which was January the 11th. They are taking a tiered approach. So yesterday they started opening up to first round, right? First draw applicants, but is really targeted the first couple of days for the smaller community banks with assets of $1 billion or lower. These are the banks that typically serve the underserved populations, minority and women businesses. These are your CDFIs, which are your community development financial institutions, and your MDIs, which are your minority depository institutions. Can also be your credit union. So those are the first ones that are the applications are being open to, because some of you asked me questions yesterday, tried to submit applications to different lenders. It is a tiered rollout. So you can seek out one of these organizations. I talked about it yesterday. All the links are in the comments of these videos in the show notes. So do click on the links and you can find more information there. Overviews, the access to the form. Now, for the form, when we go over it, this form, it depends on your lender. They may have a comparable form. Typically, it's an online. They just took the SBA form, put it into an online, easy, streamlined format for you to be able to log into some type of application portal. So some of you all asked me, you said you filled it out. Where do you send it? It depends on what lender you're going through. Okay. And since if this is your first time, this is the first time you're going to a lender, there is a complete lenders list available. You should see it again in the description of the show notes. I will make sure it's provided in the comments, or you can simply go to sba.gov and obtain that approved lender list. Make sure they are approved by the SBA. They're the only ones that are authorized to lend out small businesses funding through this particular program. So the first draw started yesterday, right, with small community banks. The 13th, they will open it up to second draw, right? Those of you applying for your second time, still with the smaller community banks. And then after that, shortly after that, they would start rolling out applications to all the other lenders and businesses that qualify for the program. So if you go to some of the big fintech companies, Cabbage, right, Nav, PayPal, Square. If you go to their websites right now, you'll probably see a statement as to acknowledgement of the new law, the Consolidated Appropriations Act, knowing that it was passed December the 27th of 2020. And that they are reviewing the guidance that was recently released by the SBA and the Treasury Department, and soon thereafter will open up their portal so you can monitor that. It's also important to know that you can go to any of these lenders. You can really apply to multiple lenders. If you're denied one place, don't let that stop you. Apply to multiple lenders until you get one. But you can only be funded one time. Okay, so you can only be funded by one lending institution, but you can apply to multiple places. So if one is taking longer than you would like, or they denied you, you can apply somewhere else. And that has happened before, and people have gotten approved. You may get denied by PayPal and approved by Square. So it happens. So don't give up on the process. Just make sure that you follow the instructions. You make sure you have all your business in order, your documentation, and be willing to provide that. Now, $15 billion is set aside for this program for small businesses with gross revenues of $250,000, or less, that are in low income, moderate income neighborhoods and communities, and also have 10 or less employees. Again, these are set aside. These programs that they're rolling out this time under the stimulus, right, the $900 billion stimulus bill, are targeted really to those that were missed out, were left out of the initial funding, the federal funding released earlier in 2020. Okay. One thing to note before we get into the actual application, which is a simple application, in order to qualify forgiveness, so understand that this is the forgivable loan, because sometimes people confuse this with the EIDL, right, loan. This is the loan program that is forgivable. What does that mean? That means that you have an opportunity to have the full amount that you are lent, right, or funded, forgiven. That means it becomes a grant, which is free money for you that you do not have to pay back. Now, in order to qualify for full forgiveness, you must employ and compensate, keep your employment, right? Your employee and compensation levels maintained. Make sure that the loan proceeds are applied to eligible expenses. Again, 60% towards payroll. You can put 60% towards payroll, 40% towards other related expenses, non-payroll related expenses. They have expanded the list of what they would consider allowable expenses. So before, like your mortgage, your rent, your utilities. Now with the PPE equipment that a lot of businesses have had to purchase or set up their local retail shops and different things like that. There were businesses that were impacted by social unrest, like by looting and different things like that. So if you're one of those and you had related expenses, you had to repair damages, you can also have that included as well. Okay. So again, 60% must go to payroll related costs, but again, you have an opportunity to be able to get this loan 100% forgiven. Okay. So before I get into the step by step, know that please state your questions. Let me know who you are, where you're hailing from. I would try to answer questions once I do the walkthrough. Any that I don't get to, I would definitely follow up afterwards. Do give this a thumbs up. We want as many people to see this video. Do share out this video as well. Share out our channel. There's still millions and millions of businesses that still don't know that these programs exist, haven't applied, and they need a financial lifeline, right? They're on the verge of going out of business, and we want to save as many businesses as possible. Do hit the notification button if you're benefiting from these videos. Please do hit the notification button so you will be notified every time that I go live to share these updates, because this is only one of the many stimulus programs that are providing free money to small businesses that are being rolled out. So I definitely want to make sure you all are the first to know when these programs come out, so that you can take quick action. So I'm getting ready to share my screen, and then I am going to start walking through this application form. Okay, let me make sure that it is on the screen and everybody can see it. So you can see at the top, it looks similar to the form for the second draw borrowers. Okay, so this is the SBA form. You will see that in the description as well. This is 2483. It's a little different from the 2483 SD form that I reviewed yesterday, and we're going to walk through it. You see Paycheck Protection Program borrower form. This is for first draw. This is your first time applying for PPP. You would use this form. I want to take quick note that disregard this expiration date. This is not the expiration date of this program. Some people are confused by these dates that are on the forms, but the date of this program, first borrowers, right, you have until March 31st to submit your application and be approved. The program ends. So it's either the funding ends or the date comes, and that will end the program until another extension comes. So again, you definitely don't want to wait for this program. So although there are billions of dollars available, understand there are thousands of other small businesses and entrepreneurs applying for the same program as you. Okay, so we're going to start here at the top. This is a 2-page application with additional pages with just some instruction for you to help you fill out the application. You're going to start with box number 1, checking off the this area here. Determine which type of business do you have. Are you a sole proprietor, right? For all you gig workers out there, you may not necessarily have an LLC. You may not have incorporated your business. You're operating as a sole proprietor. Or if you're a nonprofit, we see they added additional nonprofits that are now eligible, right? 501c6s were not included before, but we can see they're here. Veterans organizations, housing cooperative, tribal businesses, or you can mark other, whichever is applicable to you. You will make sure you check that box. If you have a DBA, so you're a company, say you have an LLC and you're operating or doing business as, right, or under a trade name, you would put that in the field here. Okay. In this next field, put the year that your business was established, because again, you have to have been established and operating as of or before February the 15th, 2020. So you definitely want to make sure you have that date there. Then you want to move down here and put your business legal name in this field. If you don't have a business name, your name, your personal name is what you will put in here. So if you're a gig worker, independent contractor, and you operate, for an example, if I'm operating under Shantae Roddy, I would put Shantae Roddy as my legal name, right? Then you move over to the NAICS codes. You can Google these codes and put your code in here. Understand that those that have a code of 70 beginning in 72 qualify for up to 3.5 times their their monthly average payroll, which we'll be talking about shortly. So they'll definitely need to know what your code is to see if you're eligible for 2 times your monthly payroll or 3 times your monthly payroll. Then you go over to this box here. It says applicant including affiliates if applicable meet the sizing standards. So I just said for first draw, you can have no more than 500 employees, right? Or 300 if applicable. That's the difference between first draw and second draw. If you're drawing for the second time and you're watching, it's 300 employees or less, but there's a separate form for that, okay? So it's 500 employees or the SBA says there are certain industries that have SBA sizing, right? Sizing standards that they're using. If those are applicable to you, you're going to use those and mark that here in this box, okay? But I went ahead and marked the 500 employees or less there. Then you're going to put your business address. And again, make sure you have your street, your city, your state, and your zip code. They do not and will not accept P.O. box addresses. Okay, that's very important with this program and others that you're applying for. That you have a physical address and not just a P.O. box address. Okay. So then we move over to this field. This is your business 10. This is your tax identification number, is otherwise known as your EIN, which is your employee identification number, is the same as your social security number, but for your business. It goes along with you for the life of your business. If you do not have an EIN number for your business, you can simply put your social security number. So for those gig workers, independent contractors, self-employed individuals that are sole proprietors and you have not gone through the legal structuring of your business, just put your social security number. Although I don't recommend that. Recommend just do it now if that's what you have, but work on legally structuring your business and getting your EIN number and registering your business. Business phone is the next section. You just want to indicate your phone number, your primary contact. If it's you or you may have someone else that you have designated as your primary contact in your business, you want to list them there as well as the email address in this field. Okay, so that's the business information. The next section, we're going down to the actual payroll and the calculation that you're going to use to determine how much you would qualify for in your business. So again, we said this is a payroll protection, a paycheck protection program. This is to protect payroll, to keep people employed. So what you're going to do is take your average monthly payroll. Again, the maximum is for any employee, for each employee is 100,000. So for instance, if you have an employee that is their salary is 150,000, you are capped at 100,000 per employee. So let's just say that we have an average monthly payroll of 10,000. We're going to multiply that. Okay, if we multiply that by 2.5, then that is 25,000. Now in this is different than the other form for the second draw, but you can see it says 2.5 times plus idle. Do not include any idle advance, okay, equals the loan request amount, okay, that you're going to put in here. So if you have a loan, an idle loan, that's the economic injury disaster loan, you're going to put 2 times plus the loan amount that you got for idle, not the advance, and then you're going to put that amount in this field. So since we don't have idle, it's just a 10,000, 2.5 times is 25,000. Then I'm going to put the number, or you're going to put the number of employees. I put 10 here. Whatever number of employees you have, you're going to put it in this box. And when we say employees, these are W-2 employees that pay payroll taxes. This does not include 1099 contract workers. Okay. So again, the number of employees is, for me, is 10. You can determine what your number of employees are for your W-2 payroll. Purpose of the loan. So you want to indicate on your application, why are you taking out this loan? What do you plan to use the funds for? Is it payroll, rent, mortgage, utilities? And we see they added additional covered expenses, operation expenditures, property damage that I mentioned earlier, covered supplier costs, and covered worker protections like the PPE and other protections that are covered under this particular program. Then we are going to move down to the next section, applicant ownership. So list all owners 20% or more that have equity of the applicant and attach in a separate sheet if necessary. So here's an example. It's just me. If it's just you and you're solopreneur, you have 100% ownership. But anyone that has 20 or more percent, you want to make sure that you list them here in this section, their owner name, the title, the percentage of ownership. And again, you're going to put their TIN number, right? Their EIN or social security number, and then their personal address where they can be reached and that field. Then we're going to move down here. These are some self-certifying questions that they're going to be asking you here that you want to be aware of. Let me just scroll back here so you can see this. And it says you want to take no if questions 1, 2, 5, or 6 are answered yes, the loan will not be approved. So just make sure that you are going step by step, reading through these to make sure, if you answer yes to either 1, 2, 5, or 6, that means that you're not qualified for this particular program, and then you can end it there. If you do qualify, you can continue moving forward. So let's just review some of these questions here. Number 1, is the applicant or any owner applicant presently suspended or disbarred, proposed disbarment, declared ineligible, voluntarily excluded from participation in any transaction by the federal department or the federal government, or involved in bankruptcy. Okay, so I mark no. Number 2, has the applicant, any owner of the applicant, or any business owned or controlled by any of them, ever obtained a direct guarantee SBA loan from a federal agency and is currently delinquent or has defaulted in the last 7 years? So if you have defaulted in the last 7 years and you owe the government, you will not be able to qualify, okay? And know that they know this. They can do and will do a search on you and your business, and it can always come back, okay? So is this applicant or any owner of the applicant or any other business, or have any common management, including management agreement with any other business? If yes, list all such businesses and include their TIN numbers and describe the relationship in a separate identified addendum. So it's no for me. We move on to number 4. Did the applicant receive the SBA economic disaster loan between January 31st, 2020 and April 3rd, 2020? If yes, provide details in a separate sheet identified in addendum D. So if you receive the economic injury disaster loan, okay, not the advance. If you receive the loan, you definitely want to mark this yes if you received it between these dates. Number 5, is the applicant, if an individual owning 20% or more equity of the applicant, presently incarcerated or a felon, right? Any felony presently subject to any indictment, criminal information, or arraignment. If that is the case, you mark it yes, and then you would again, that would disqualify you because that's one of the disqualifiers here. Number 6, within the last 5 years, for a felony involving any fraud or bribery, embezzlement, false statements in a loan application or an application of federal finance, or within the last year, or any felony that has the applicant or owner of the applicant been convicted, pleaded guilty to, pleaded not nolo, a contender, commenced any form of parole or probation before judgment, you want to mark yes or no. And then number 7, is the United States principal place of residence for the employees included in the applicant's payroll? For me, yes, you're in the United States. And is this applicant a franchise? And is the franchise listed in the SBA's franchise directory? Again, you want to mark yes or no, whichever is applicable to you. Okay. And then you scroll down here, and this form here is the sign below. And these are attestations that you are going to check off. You're going to read. And again, a brief overview is going to recap some of the things above, ask you that you are certifying that all the information is correct and accurate, that you understand the rules, that you understand what makes you eligible to apply for the program. and you're going to check off all the boxes here. As you go down, you can see there's a complete list. I won't go through the exhaustive list there. You go through there, you sign, you print, and you date. You state, your title as the business owner, and you submit it. So again, depending on your lender, it may be they have you submit this form. That may be a smaller lender. Most lenders have an online portal which they will mirror this same application, and you will go step by step through this process. So again, it's a simple application process. You go step by step, answer the questions, and then they will determine if you qualify for the program and if they are going to issue you funds. Okay, so that is the application step by step. I want to make sure that I answer any questions that you all have. Let me just focus on really quickly the solopreneurs. These are the gig workers, independent contractors, self-employed individuals that have 0 employees. Is just you. Understand when you're applying as an employee of one. It is your payroll, your owner's compensation, and how they're going to calculate your income is based on your 2019 tax returns. As I've mentioned before, they're going to go by your Schedule C. So even if you haven't filed your tax returns, you need to get that Schedule C and submit it. You could go to irs.gov and get the Schedule C form and fill it out and submit it. It is line 31 that they're looking at to see what your income is. That is your net after expenses. They don't go based on your gross. So this is different than those that have employees. They don't care if you had a loss. They don't care. But they because they're going based on your payrolls to keep people employed. However, for those that are self-employed, you have a Schedule C. They're going based on whether you had a profit or not. Okay. So if you had 0 profit on that line 31, then that means that you would not qualify. It's really hard to get around that. Very few people have been able to, maybe submitting some additional verification documents like bank statements. It really pays to have a relationship with your banker, but that really is the criteria that they have set for solopreneurs with regards to this particular program. Is really to help, keep people employed. And so that's why there are other programs available as well. So that's not to say that everybody didn't take a loss, but there's a good portion of solopreneurs that have losses, right, on their income. They're not big companies, right? So you have a loss on your taxes. Now, even if you apply for the loan, if it's like $100, to me, that's not worth taking out a loan, even if it's forgivable, but you have to assess it for yourself. But I mean, I've heard of people that got $1 in a loan. Why would you take $1 in a loan? That makes absolutely no sense to me. But if it's $1,000 or more, hey, why not? I mean, I would recommend if it's $1,000 or more, you can do that. But you base it based on that number, just like you would go through the regular calculation of the payroll. You're using that number on line 31. Okay. And then you're going to times it by 12. And then you're going to come up with your monthly payroll amount for yourself. And then you're going to times that by 2.5. Okay. So are you eligible if bankruptcy is discharged? Potentially. I think it says if you're in an active bankruptcy. Again, I'll circle back on that. I don't believe if it's discharged. I think it may say within a particular years, but I think this is specifically if you're in an active bankruptcy. But I'll double check that for sure. Any suggestions on which banks to apply with? Start with your own bank. Check to see if they are an approved SBA lender. Again, you can go to the SBA website. They have a lender list. I would, again, provide that link as well. Square, Cabbage, and PayPal were big lenders when other big banks weren't lending to smaller businesses, because we tend not to have the relationships as these big with the banks as bigger companies do. They really came through for a lot of smaller businesses. And I really want minorities and women that are on here to really take note and apply for as many of these programs as you can, because so many of us missed out on the last round of funding. Okay. Credit scores is not a factor for PPP. It is for EIDL. Okay, it is for EIDL. And I will be talking about EIDL. I think if it's not tomorrow, it will be Thursday. The new EIDL grants. The loan has been extended to December 31st of 2021, but they are launching in the upcoming days, actually, new grant programs, new EIDL grant programs. So again, you definitely want to make sure you're subscribed and that you hit that notification button and that you get information quickly so you can take quick action. Okay, please explain, where do I apply? Again, your lender, any approved lender you can go to. Like Huntington is really good. They're a community bank, but of course they have more than $1 billion in assets. But they are a great bank. They actually have a great loan program for women right now. But any of these banks that you bank with, if they're Chase, Bank of America, but try even your credit union. If they're on the approved list of lenders, you can Google CDFIs, MDIs. I know Magic Johnson. Some of my peers, even the other day, said that they have applied through Magic Johnson, right, the former basketball player, through his company, because he actually put $100 million in funding reserved for minority businesses. Okay. Someone is asking, I'm a solopreneur. I did not have any income last year. Am I still, I think you mean, are you still able to apply? It's going to be very hard for you to qualify, because you have to use your 2019 income. So if you weren't in business in 2019, you could still fill out a Schedule C for the months that you were open and operating, right? Because as of or before February 15th. So even if you were in operation in January of 2020, you can still qualify for this program, right? But understand that with this program and other programs, you have to show an economic loss. Okay, that's one of the differences between this first draw and the second draw, is that you have to show a percentage of the second draws, right? 25% or more, a reduction between comparable periods of 2019 and 2020. And for forgiveness, when you're getting the funds, you're actually going to be using them within a 8 to 24 week period. And then you're going to base your forgiveness application on that 8 to 24 week period that you use the loans for. Okay. What if you don't have 1099 form yet for 2020 and you're in business as of January 2020? That doesn't matter. So again, you would just, use your Schedule C. You have bank records. So there's additional records that you can use to substantiate your income. And again, it really is based on what the lender requires. Which is why I said before that sometimes people are denied by one lender and they're approved by another lender. And the thing is, for minorities and women out there, these smaller banks, right, the CDFIs, the MDIs, they're well aware of the uniquenesses of our businesses and the challenges that we face. So you have more of a chance to getting approved for a loan by going through some of these companies. Okay. In addition to myself, some of the organizations that are giving assistance with these programs are SCORE. So if you are linked to your local SCORE office, every city has one. Reach out to them to see if you can get assistance with applying for the program. And we have tons of videos. I have tons of videos, and we'll put out tons more on the Paycheck Protection Program because there's a lot to cover. So each component of it, I will make sure I cover, and you can just go to the video and get the help that you need. Okay, what if my business is not linked with my credit union? Can I still ask the credit union? Yes, you can apply with any lender. You do not have to be a customer or a member of a bank or a credit union to try to get an application. I would just start calling your bank, right? And if you have again a relationship, a contact number, just ask them: are they participating with the program? Are they approved lender? And have they opened up the applications? And just let them know you're interested in applying and what's the process. Okay, so I think I answered that questions. Someone's saying they want to learn how they're a Lyft driver. Okay, so these are gig workers: Lyft, Uber, Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, Ship. If you do any of that, if you're Mary Kay, in any of those types of professions are called gig workers, and you can qualify for this program. Okay, hello, I received EIDL. If I also apply for and receive PPP this round, will my EIDL loan be refinanced? No. Will it be refinanced into the PPP? So understand, the Paycheck Protection Program is completely separate from EIDL. Okay, do not get them confused. They're separate, but they are considered, right? So that's why I said when you apply, they do want to know, if you applied for EIDL, what your loan amount was. Now, it's important to understand that if you do get the EIDL, or if you did or you do get the EIDL advance, that is the grant. That's the free money portion of the EIDL program. Okay, that it cannot reduce your forgiveness amount of your PPP like it did before. Okay, so that is irrelevant. So if you got $1,000 EIDL grant, or you got $10,000, that will not impact the amount of full forgiveness of your Paycheck Protection Program. It did before. And if you are watching and you were one of the ones that were affected by that, and you submitted forgiveness and you didn't get full forgiveness, the SBA is going to make all of you all whole. That happened to. That requirement of the EIDL reduction offset has been repealed under this stimulus. Okay, if your business operated at a loss, they're going to reject you. You can try to apply. Before you apply, go to the application that they have, the lender, see what they're asking for in the application. It should mirror what I just did the walkthrough. Okay, what I just did a walkthrough, the application, it should be identical. Okay. But as far as when they ask you to upload or attach verification documents, they're going to ask you for your Schedule C tax return. If they ask for any supplementary documents, again, bank statements, profit and loss statements, there are other documents that you can upload, but most times than not, you're going to be denied because you had a loss on your Schedule C. Unfortunately. But that's why there's the EIDL program as well. There's also the pandemic unemployment assistance. So someone said, the EIDL grant is not available yet. I will be doing a live on that on Thursday, I believe. We are waiting for the SBA to release the guidance, just like they did for the Paycheck Protection Program. That should be coming out shortly. If you go to the SBA website, you're not going to see any reference to the grant. You're not going to see any reference to the new stimulus or the new law that passed until they're ready to release the guidance. At that point, they will update their website and they're with instructions. What I do know is that they're launching a new application portal from before. So I know some of my peers that are like in the application process and hasn't completed it. They're telling them that they're going to have to move to the other portal and resubmit the application if they're in process and it hasn't been completed. Someone is saying about a credit union. I opened it yesterday, but they said you need at least a 580 credit score to get a business account open. Oh, wow. Okay. Again, you're not limited to your local geographic area. So if you don't have a bank or credit union in your area, you're not limited. There's banks and credit unions, financial institutions nationwide. And I've never heard of that. In none of my business accounts have they ever denied me opening up an account based on a credit score. So don't let that stop you. Go get another bank account. Okay, can you get PPP loan and receiving PUA? Okay, let me just, before I close out, to remind everyone, when you're applying for PPP, okay, there is a new grant that's coming out for shuttered live venue grants. I'm going to be doing a specific live on that because that's another grant that's going to be administered by the SBA. You cannot get the PPP and get the shuttered live venues grant. So then what you need to do, if you're a live venue, right, performance operator, or business, right, cultural arts, museum, if it makes more sense, you get more out of the shuttered live venues grant than the PPP, you need to make that determination. But if you apply for PPP and get it, you cannot get the grant. Okay? Or vice versa. If you are on PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance, that's fine. Once you are funded, your PPP, you have to suspend your unemployment. What they call this double dipping, and you cannot do it. And if you do it, they can come back and take it and penalize you and add on to what they already given you. It has happened before, because again, paycheck protection is for your paycheck. So when you're funded, that means you're getting a paycheck, and you need to suspend your unemployment. You are no longer unemployed during the periods, right? Whether you choose 8 weeks or 24 weeks to use your PPP funding, anytime between those weeks, you cannot be on pandemic unemployment assistance. Okay. Period. There's also another grant coming out. They have not released guidance yet, but there's a grant for child care providers. I know you all have peers out there. Many of them have no clue about these programs that are coming out. Please make them aware. Share this video, share this channel, share the information with them, and let them know to be on alert to apply when these programs, when they open. Someone talked to Cabbage, was told that they are waiting on the new portal. Yeah. And someone else was trying so hard yesterday and they were getting so discouraged. And what I explained to them is, just because the SBA opened it up doesn't mean that the lending institutions are ready. I mean, they released the guidance relatively quickly. These are a lot of regulations to read through, make sure, and then they have to, contact their teams and their technology departments, get the portals up and running, make official announcements. So it may take them time. They may not be ready on day 1. Maybe they're ready on day 2 or day 3 or day 4. Okay, but that means you have many options of lenders. You're not restricted on what lender you can go to. Yes, you do qualify for PPP if you work for Uber or DoorDash. You're a gig worker, as long as you made a net profit. Can you use your January bank statement instead of your 2019 tax return? Not if you were in business in 2019. So just think, if you were in business in 2019, or if you started, in early 2020. That's the difference. If you were in operation 2019, you should have a tax return. I mean, I can't say that enough. Okay. I had someone reach out to me yesterday about helping them with their taxes, because those of you that are not filing your taxes on a regular basis annually, and some of you need to be doing it quarterly, you are really taking yourself out of the running for a lot of these programs, not just the federal stimulus programs that are here, but there's much more to come. But the state grant programs that are out right now. I'll probably come on later today because there's some tight deadlines to talk about specifically some state grant programs that are out there that, again, a lot of you all don't even know about. We have a grant tracker that lists hundreds of grants that you can use on our website at www.shebosstalk.com. It's free. Just bookmark it and research the grants that are there. So many of my peers have won grants in their local areas, including myself. But a lot of times they can't find you, especially minorities and women. It's like, where are the business at? We're giving away money and we can't find the businesses to give the money to. The bulk of the money is at your state level. Because once the stimulus funds are given at the federal level, they drill down to the state, the county, and your local governments, right? Your city. So that's important to know that there are grants out there, national grants, federal grants, and local grants in your area. That's where the big money is. Money is going to be flooded into small business, and so you need to be ready, not getting ready. So this is helping you prepare so that when these programs launch, you're not scrambling trying to figure out how do you apply, right? And then you're finding out you don't qualify because you never took your business seriously. You never got your business in order. There's no organization to your business. And so we want to make sure that you're set up for success. That's why we provided all of these resources and tools. We have our winning grant application cheat sheet and checklist that will help you with every single grant, pitch, competition, stimulus that is out there to apply for. It will help you. So if you don't have it, we recommend you get it. It's in, again, the description and the show notes. If you want it, let me know in the comments. I'll make sure that you get the link. We also have a masterclass. So many of you all want one-on-ones. Is not possible for me, except for EIDL. Once the EIDL launches, I help with the reconsideration process to help get you approved. And I help with the actual application to get the grants and loan. Once the grant opens, right? There is a fee for that. But the best thing that you could do is sign up for the Win Grants with Ease Masterclass. All of the questions that you all are inboxing me about, emailing me about regarding the stimulus, the paycheck protection, the EIDL grants that are coming out, other grants that are out here at your state levels and the national grants, how to win them, right? Come to the masterclass. Our last live session is the 16th. The last session this last Saturday was phenomenal. And I actually stayed on extra to make sure everybody got all their questions answered. There's not an opportunity to get on my schedule outside of this. So I highly recommend you do it. It's very affordable to do so. And you're going to set yourself up for success and to win money. And I'm not talking little money. I'm talking thousands of dollars in free money that you can use for your business, right? Who can use money for their business? If you can use money for your business, let me know in the comments. If you're ready to get money in 2021, if you're not going to get it now, when else are you going to get it? Never has there been a time where for-profit businesses can get money like this, free money, and this easy. Let's not make it hard. I want to make it easy for you all to get money for your business and take your businesses to the next level in 2021. I've done it. Many of the viewers that are watching have done it. I've helped over thousands of entrepreneurs get free funding in the millions of dollars. I mean, at this point, it's even hard to track how much because all of our tools, even the free videos, our free videos can help you a lot. I don't charge for these videos. Okay. So, even if you can't afford the cheat sheet or to be in the masterclass, again, subscribe, watch the videos at your leisure. I give a lot of information here that other people are not giving you. They'll tell you about a grant, but they're not telling you how to get it. Okay. My bank said that low income community was first. That's right. To do PPPs and in the low income neighborhoods. Yeah, they said the call back every day. Yeah, they are first in line. This is a tiered rollout. So if you can't apply the first day, don't worry about it. It again, set aside of $15 billion for Those with $250,000 in gross revenues, 10 employees or less, and in low to moderate income communities. Okay, Molly Wood Square, you need the cheat sheet and the masterclass. Okay, these are live comments, so I will pin the information to the top of the comments of this video. Make sure you get it. Okay. All right. Who is allowing online applications? CDFIs and MDIs. Google it. You can also check with your bank first. Start with banks you have relationships with. Okay. Be smarter. I will sign up with the class. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we've been on here for 15 minutes. Again, we have plenty of resources and tools. Again, you could go to our website at www.shebosstalk.com. I will be on later. I'll be talking specifically about these grants again because they're big grants at the state level, and the timelines, they're competitive and they only have type timelines. Okay. So if you're looking for grants in your state, tune in later. I'll probably come on between 5 and 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then tomorrow, I think I'm talking about the new employee payroll tax credit of $14,000 per employee, which is important. So again, there's so much stimulus, payroll tax credits. There's one for self-employed. I'll be doing videos on all of these different programs so you can go after the one that applies for you. But this payroll tax credit, if you do have a W-2 employee, even if it's yourself, to just get a tax credit on your tax, right, when you file your taxes, of $14,000 can make a huge difference. So that you can expect that video this week. Again, browse our video collection. There's a lot that you can benefit from. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll circle back later to answer any questions that you have. Do give this a thumbs up. Do share it out. Do subscribe. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a great day.